Hi beautiful ladies, welcome back to my channel. So I want to come on here and talk about the Rihanna and ASAP Rocky situation. I've been wanting to talk about Rihanna for a while because I talk about the importance of not allowing yourself to become a baby mom for various obvious reasons, but I wanted to speak to Rihanna's situation because there are some nuances that we need to consider. So just as a background, it's rumored that Rihanna started dating ASAP Rocky at around like 2020, the end of 2020. But then previous to that, she was dating an Arab billionaire from like 2017 to 2020. But then, as we know, most recently, she went on to have 2 children with ASAP Rocky, and she's received some backlash for allowing ASAP Rocky to make her a baby mom, which I understand. People have said that she should have married ASAP Rocky, but honestly, I agree with Rihanna's decision not to marry him due to the massive difference in wealth between the two. Rihanna is a billionaire, and ASAP has a net worth of approximately 20 million. And obviously, that's not a small feat, but his wealth pales in comparison to Rihanna's, and Rihanna, by extension, has access to resources and connections that ASAP wouldn't even know about. So this kind of places Rihanna in a hypogamous relationship because she's the one with most of the resources and wealth, and then ASAP Rocky kind of stands to benefit from being in a relationship with her for that very fact. And these type of arrangements, hypogamous relationships, don't typically fare well for women because women often have to assume the role of mother and the fatherly provider. So typically in hypergamous relationships, they tend to work where the man has more resources because men typically earn more money than women in general across various industries. So you're kind of almost at a deficit as a woman if you date a man who earns less than you. The fact that he simply exists as a man, he stands to earn more money than you. So now, not only did you have to work very hard to become a billionaire and make money, you had to do that as a woman. And now you're dating a man who wasn't able to literally use his male privilege to his advantage to make more money than you. And again, yeah, he's a millionaire, whatever. For the fact alone that men out-earn women, as a woman, you should only strive to date men who earn more money than you because they have male privilege that works in their favor. And when you date someone who earns less than you, it's almost like you're taxing yourself because now he's able to reap the benefits of the labor that you had to work twice as hard to achieve when he could have simply just found a way to use his privilege to his advantage to get ahead. So now he has to dip into your pool that you had to work twice as hard to earn, which is not fair. When women in a hypogamous relationship, again, they have to, not only do they have to sort of be that nurturing mother, they then have to also be the provider. So you're going to find yourself, even if you don't have kids with him, but in this case, we're talking about Rihanna who does have kids with him, making sure that your children's financial and emotional well-being is taken care of. Obviously, your man's emotional well-being is taken care of. That's traditionally your role in the relationship as a woman. But then also, you have to take care of all the finances because you're the one with the money. So you're playing both roles while he kind of sits there and does nothing. We're seeing that imbalance even more where Rihanna is having to kind of take time out of her business and taking care of the kids to now go and support someone who committed a crime, and I'll talk about that later. But now, if Rihanna were to marry ASAP Rocky, she would put herself at risk financially, especially if she didn't get a prenup, because he would either be entitled to half of her net worth, or he would likely receive a very expensive alimony check each month from Rihanna. So a lot of couples, they lose their wealth from divorce when the other party takes half of their net worth. So, if she were to make the mistake of marrying him, then she would have to get a really nice ironclad prenup, making it very clear that he's not getting anything. But even if she had that, getting alimony alone, especially from a billionaire, is going to be expensive. He can stand to get tens of thousands of dollars per month from her alone if she made that decision to marry him. And obviously, it's still pending as to whether or not he's going to go to prison. And I think that once the recipient is incarcerated, those checks stop. But even if he didn't, that's too much of a risk for someone like Rihanna. So I totally support her decision to kind of just, despite her having kids with him, which I think is a big mistake, at least she did not allow herself to get caught up in the Black community's expectations of marriage, and she did not marry this guy. Just look at what happened to like Mary J. Blige. Like, Mary J. Blige works so hard now because she has to pay for alimony for her husband. Like, he pretty much took her to the cleaners, and like, she's having to pay for that month after month. She's not even able to work because she wants to and build her craft or get to her bag. Like, she cannot afford to not work because of this alimony bill that she has. So all that aside, Rihanna blundered in even being associated or seen with ASAP. And this is why dating down isn't just about money. Yes, there are, financial risks in dating down as a woman, especially a woman like Rihanna who has billions on the line. But outside of that, dating down also has to do with the way that you are perceived. Rihanna blundered in being associated or seen with ASAP because, number one, he's a rapper and they have a bad reputation, and clearly we can see for a reason. And number two, because of that reputation, Rihanna kind of cheapens her image because those rapper stereotypes are alleged to be true, and now she may forever be known as the baby mom of a convict. The stereotypes honestly write themselves. And yes, Rihanna is a billionaire, so she can honestly do whatever she wants. Even if she was a millionaire, she's an entertainer. She's built herself as a businesswoman, so she can do whatever she wants. But when it comes to the optics, because society tends to use public figures like celebrities as representation of the general public, Rihanna being associated with someone like A$AP Rocky kind of paints the rest of us as Black women, all they do is choose the losers. All they do is choose the thugs, which is also why I say that you need to make a clear distinction between you and the ghettos. I love Rihanna's music. I love her beauty brand, but you know what? I'm going to put myself first. And so I choose to stay away from people who behave like Rihanna. So if you know someone in real life who likes to date convicts, because I'm pretty sure Rihanna knew what this guy, or had an idea of what this guy was about, but it's imperative that you stay away from women who behave like this in real life. Again, number one, because you both are not afforded the same privileges that Rihanna has. She could decide tomorrow that she's done with ASAP and the whole ride or die chick, Bonnie or Clyde image, hire a PR team and clean up her image and continue to make billions. She has the luxury and the ability to do that. You and I do not. So the way that we can protect our image, especially in a climate that is increasingly becoming more and more right-leaning, people do not care about being labeled as racist. And so if you look like someone that looks ghetto, like Rihanna's behavior, you are going to be lumped like the rest of them. And it comes down to even the way that you style yourself. You could be the smartest cookie, you could be the most successful, and no one would ever know if you do not look the part, which is also why I talk about the importance of not only leveling up your look so that you can benefit from pretty privilege, but so that you can benefit socially and not be ostracized for being too close in proximity to the ghettos. So if you, again, know someone like this in real life, steer clear. Not only because of how things look, but also you don't want to get caught up in drama. Rihanna's situation is not something that's new. Unfortunately, just regular women, regular Black women deal with issues like this because when they choose to deal with losers who don't want to stay out of trouble. And you could say, oh, well, maybe, ASAP or men like him have cleaned up their image. Well, I'm sorry, but it's too little too late. The courts are now choosing to prosecute this case, and it could end differently. You don't want to get caught up in the legalities. God forbid, you have to help this guy get through his issues by, helping to fund his legal representation. Like, you don't need that. You don't need all of the stress of having to deal with, is he going to be locked up for years to come? Do I have to put money on his books? And if you have children with him, I'm going to have to deal with raising my kids alone. You don't want to have to deal with that stress. So the fairy tale that is painted in the media will not play out in your favor in real life, and you will be treated accordingly. You will be excluded from not only elite spaces, but even being able to get a good job, with good pay, benefits, etc. You will be excluded if you look like the Rihanna type. Rihanna kind of reinforcing this stereotype, she gave A$AP Rocky a legacy like through 2 children and, contacts. He ended up giving her what most men in the industry that look like A$AP Rocky typically give Black women, which is embarrassment. Every time Rihanna enters a room for the next year or so, all people are going to talk about is that's the baby mom of the convict or of the accused, and not, oh, that's the multi-million-dollar brand owner of Fenty Beauty. And honestly, Rihanna will be fine because, again, she's a billionaire. She owns a multi-million-dollar company amongst a few other things, so she can afford to be closely related to someone with a bad reputation, because honestly, at this stage, people will do anything to be around a billionaire. So someone of her caliber can literally get away with anything. On the grand scheme of things, she can also afford to hire a full-time nanny for each of her kids if she wanted to. So if he does go away, at least she doesn't have to worry about raising the kids alone. She'll have support. But again, it comes down to representation, and we cannot act as if people do not try to emulate the lives of celebrities, okay? Celebrities, like their primary existence, the reason why they're held in such high regard in society is so that they can influence the masses. And so the average woman but for the average person like you and I, we are not afforded the same luxury that Rihanna has because we simply don't belong to the same social class and are therefore not awarded the same privileges. And even if you're doing well financially, you earn 6 figures or more, you still have to be careful with who you are associated with, if not more, because your ability to earn and build a social network as someone who is local and not an international household name is dependent upon your reputation. One slick move, even outside of your work, and you can get fired, and other employers may even be hesitant to hire you if you have a reputation on social media. Like, we've seen so many instances where people go on like racist rants or they harass someone and it gets posted online and immediately they're fired and they pretty much get blacklisted from similar employers because they don't want to deal with the drama of your tainted reputation. And obviously Rihanna's situation is not this extreme. She's not the one who is accused of the crime, but like even being associated with someone in close proximity like that can look poorly upon you because it signals to others that you have poor decision-making skills. If you can't even make a simple decision as to who you choose to be in relationships with, then how can I trust you to have sound judgment on the job? And A$AP Rocky apparently committed this crime like in 2022, which was like well into when they were together. I'm sure Rihanna saw some signs of some questionable behavior that could signal like, hey, maybe I need to cut ties with this guy because he's going to be a problem. And this is also why celebrities have PR reps, people who pretty much coach them on their image, people who coach them on what to say, what not to say, where to go, where not to go, who not to associate with, for this very reason, because they understand that your image is pretty much your net worth in that circle. Look at Beyonce. Beyonce's PR team does an amazing job. They only post specific things on social media that's going to make money. She only goes to certain events where she's going to be honored or where, it's about her or her daughter Blue Ivy. Very, very strategic about her imaging and where she is positioned and who she is identified with. When Kanye West started to crash out years ago when he embarrassed Taylor Swift, that was the last time that you ever publicly saw the Carters with someone like Kanye West in public. And this is also why I tell women to be careful of what you post on social media and to honestly even forego social media unless it's making you money. As an aside, I personally believe that we need to get back to a place where privacy is sacred and personal info is reserved for those who are closest to us, but I digress. It's unsettling to me that unless your account is private, a complete stranger can see your profile, see the most intimate parts of your life, and have access to you that way. And this honestly goes back to the low self-esteem element that I speak about with Black women, but particularly successful Black women, because Rihanna was once dating and almost rumored to be engaged to Hassan Jamil. That's the name of the Saudi billionaire that she was dating and businessman before she got with A$AP Rocky. But mind you, in Rihanna's defense, Arab men are known to be super traditional, and he may not have liked the fact that Rihanna was so liberal and independent, especially working with other men, and may have desired a more traditional role for her if they were to get married. But honestly, if she was able to get a billionaire once, she can definitely get another one again. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think about this one down below in the comments, and I will see you in the next video. Memberships are now live on this channel. Click the link in the description box to sign up to receive access to exclusive content and perks.